Coach and I are very excited for the season. I mean, everyone's excited in October. It's a marathon. We've got big goals this year, and what we do, starting tomorrow, and what we do every day is what's going to make the difference whether or not we achieve our goals or not. And we had a good team dinner last night. Guys are focused and ready, and I know Coach is ready to bust their ass.
Any questions?
Kevin, where do you think you have to? I mean, you got to the conference finals, but where do you think you have to get better, and where do you think you are better this year?
Well, we'll find out where we are better, but I know we do have to get better on defensive rebounding. We didn't take care of the glass enough last year. I just think when you objectively go back and look at the Golden State series, they were able to make more plays for each other. So we've got to be able to make more plays for each other. We've got to be able to drive seams, kick it in that next pass. So really on the defensive end, I think we got a defensive rebound better, and I think offensive rebound. We were really offensive rebounded well last year in the playoffs, but we got to carry that overall season long. So the boards are a big concern, and then us making extra plays for each other. I just think that's a huge part of getting better shots. Our goal this year is to get 7, 8, 9, 10 just higher quality shots. Now I'm not talking about just having Ty Lawson. I'm talking about Terrence driving seams and passing, everybody passing the ball and making plays for each other. So those are two areas that we want to improve on.
How much of an upgrade is Ty to the backcourt?
Yeah, I like Ty a lot. I'll be able to answer that question a lot more in a month from now. But I do like him. I think all the stuff he does naturally, all the stuff that he does instinctively are things that we value. His ability to be a push guard, get the ball down the floor quickly. His ability just to throw the ball ahead. He's got good vision throwing the ball ahead and very willing passer ahead. His ability to get in the paint, play from the paint out. A lot of times when the ball gets in the paint, it never gets out. He can play it from the paint and out. He finds people on the perimeter. He can get in the paint. He can throw back out for threes. He can get in the paint. He can feed big. So, yeah, I just think Ty will be really good. But again, all that stuff all sounds good. I'll let you know a lot more when we start playing.
Relative to your point about making more plays for one another, how much does Ty specifically influence that?
Well, Ty's going to make plays for others, but I'm saying it can't come just from Ty. If you look back on that series and then you look at the finals, how many times did Draymond Green get in our paint and make a pass out? I mean, it's got to be other people. It wasn't Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. It was the other guys. It was Sean Livingston. It was those guys. All of our guys have got to make plays for each other. But I think Ty instinctively does a good job of that. But that doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't. It's one more extra play a game that you make for your teammate to just get a better shot. It's huge.
Daryl made references to managing Dwight's workload. What ideally would you like to do that? How would you like to have him sit out, etc.?
Well, again, we'll start camp here tomorrow. We'll go see how Dwight feels. I think managing his workload is something that we really want to look at. We don't want to have Dwight miss. I don't know, he missed 41 last year. Was it 40?
Missed a lot.
Yeah, a lot. We don't want to have that happen. So, especially starting off this season. And then a lot of that's going to come down to Dwight and how he feels. I mean, eventually it's going to come down to how do you feel, how's your body responding to back-to-backs, how you're responding to the practice and stuff like that. Our training staff working with them. So,
and the team doctors.
Yeah, the team doctor. So, do I have a set thing right now? I think it would be like I don't have a set minutes for Ty either. I don't know. I think how he feels. We'd like to make sure that he plays more games. We'd like to make sure he's more healthy this year because he's a huge part of what we're doing, and he can be such a dominant force for us. But so to say specifically, what am I doing? I'm going to watch practice tomorrow. Then we'll make a determination on Wednesday how much we do.
So you are open to him playing some back-to-backs and seeing how they go. You're not saying no back-to-back.
Again, I don't know. He may. I think it's just premature to talk about that right now. We're going to look at him very carefully, and along with the doctors and our training staff, try to do the best thing we can to help him. But to say that I have a definitive plan right now, like he's practicing 20 minutes tomorrow, not a minute more, I don't know. We'll go and I've talked to him, and the guy's not a rookie. I mean, the guy's been in the league forever. He knows his body better than anybody. He's got to tell me what he can and can't do.
And I know the team doctors are going to be watching how his body reacts to training camp. So I think to Coach's point, we're going to all going to all work together to make sure we make the right plan for him.
Along those lines with the bigs, is there any update on Donatus on where he's at for training camp for the preseason?
I mean, we know he won't be available for full basketball activities on day one. We don't have a timetable beyond that. He looks great. We'd love to put him out there right away, but the reality is with his injury, it's something that we want to make sure we're managing it right, and we're working closely with the doctors and on when the right time is. But it's not. We're not. I don't think we're talking days. I think we're talking more than days on when he'll be back.
Kevin, where do you think, or where do you hope that Clint can make a jump from last year to this year?
I think Clint's just going to have natural maturation, natural growth. I mean, he's so young that he was able to. I think, if I remember correctly, when we drafted him, when we weighed him, he was like 222 or something. I think he's up to 246 right now, and that's just through, a lot of that's through his really hard work. He's worked hard all summer long. He's a very diligent worker. But a lot of that's just going from 20 to 21. You just started maturing, and I see some of you guys have matured very well. He just starts getting, a little bit more man strength, and so I just think that's going to be a big part of him. I just think his ability to block shots and rebound and run is going to be huge. Now, him improving his free throws, which he's worked very hard at. Improving his ability to finish quickly, not to bounce, finish around the basket. A lot of little things that he's really working on. I think you'll see him get better. Now, is he going to make just these gigantic steps? I think he's very good. I think he's going to make incremental steps because he's such a hard worker. But to answer your question, I anticipate he'll be better. I just think he knows our system. We're comfortable with him. And he's a hell of a player. So those are all good things.
You've played with and seen some of the best players in the game. What can a guy like Harden do to go forward with what he put together last year?
I mean, James had a great year last year. Let's face it, that was a spectacular year by really a very, very gifted player. I think for James, I think there's some things we've talked about at the end of the last year, playing out the catch more, attacking more in the break situations where everything's not so jammed up, running deeper to the corners, a lot of little things. I mean, it's not like, again, it's very hard to take where James is at and say, boy, we're going to add these huge things. You're going to add a lot of little things, and I just think, for us, and I said it all last year, especially when Demo went down and Pat, we put so much emphasis on the poor kid having the ball so much. I think with Ty, Pat's back, I think we can get the ball out of his hands, let him play a little bit more off the catch, let him play a little bit more free without having so much ball responsibilities. I think that will help him. I think he's harder to guard like that. But I mean, James just, I can't say enough about the type of year he had last year, just what he was able to bring to our team. And the best thing about James, he's a very diligent worker. Like, when he goes in the gym, he grinds out a couple hours. He doesn't stop by the gym for a 2-minute. He goes in and he grinds out even on his own, he grinds out a couple hour just workout. He just is a grinder, and I just think that serves him well.
Do you anticipate a significant change in your offensive style to take advantage of what Ty can do? Or
yeah, we're going to try to lock that thing down and just never shoot. I mean, we're going to play the same way. I think we'll just play it better. I think Ty fits in to how we play. That's the nice thing about Ty. When I first met with him, I said, Ty, here's the great thing about you coming here. You just got to do what you do well to help us. Like sometimes you get a guy, because there's not perfect players, they're not perfect everything. There's sometimes you get a guy who never really rebounded well, and you go like, man, look, you got to really stretch your rebounding. I mean, you got to go from averaging 6 to 9 for us, And the guy after his 6th, 7th year in the league, he's like looking at you like, I haven't rebounded my whole career. What do you expect me to do it now for? Ty just got to do what he's done his whole career for us to help us. His ability to get, he's really a hard guy to stay in front of. His ability to get in the paint and then play from the paint out, like I said, will be huge. I hope we play a little faster. I'd like to play faster. I'd like to play with more pace coming out of the backcourt into the front court. That initial thrust that gets the defense on their heels. I think it gives us the ability to play two-sided pick and roll. James on one side, he on the other side. Swing it, make the defense shift a lot more. I just think it gives us some real options. So we will play the same way, hopefully just more efficiently and a little bit better.
one thing Coach mentioned just to the team is Ty's ability to play in transition but play safely. So we were pretty good in transition. We weren't as good as Golden State, for example, but one thing they were able to do we weren't was to push the tempo and press the defense but not turn it over. Ty does that, again, it's not like, our coaching staff needs to train him in that. He's done that his whole career, and we think that will be a big help as well.
Now, are you encouraged with the way Ty's dealt with his personal issues, and are you happy with where he's at as on the start of camp?
Yeah, I think, obviously we're here to support Ty, and, it's something that, for everybody, everyone's got things they're working through, but I've been encouraged by the steps he's taken, and those are things. The best thing that can happen is if he takes the steps, and as far as in terms of what we can, talking to him, he's done those things that will help, and we're going to continue to help him as an organization as well.
Kevin,
Coach, how do you
you
feel
talked about...
Time for one more question.
How do you feel about the depth on your team? It seems like 1 through 14, you've got some really solid players everywhere.
Yeah, good. I've never heard anybody say I got too many good players.
You got 5 Hall of Famers?
Yeah, no, as I said, I've never heard anybody say, my teammates are too good. What I really want to do is play with some crappy teams. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy. I like having depth. Like I say, I think a big part of this year is going to be Dwight staying healthy, Demo coming back, being healthy, our front court being healthy, TJ having a big year. I think it's a big year for TJ. I think he can really help us out. Clint's development. And then, Montrez or maybe Decker playing that smaller, or Montrez can play the spot, but maybe playing smaller with Decker, maybe at the 4 some. I don't know. We have a lot of different things that we're going to throw together. We're going to try playing the 2 point guards together some and stuff, and eventually everything gets thinned out, and you come up with stuff that you're very comfortable with, and that's kind of where we're at. So I'm excited about it. I know that there's going to be some disappointed guys because everybody wants to play, and everybody's not going to play. I promise you that. We'll get our rotation down to 9, 10 guys, and then we'll go from there. And that starts tomorrow. And people have asked who's going to start. Who deserves to start? Who's going to? Your competition starts tomorrow. You got to go out and compete for time. You got to go out, and if we're going to compete for wins, it starts with guys competing for time. This is a competition league. This is a no excuses. Do you win or get it? Do you get it done or not? Every single night you're tested. Do you win or lose that game that night? No one wants to hear about you're hurt. No one wants to say you got a hang nail. No one wants to hear anything about that crap. It's a win or lose game, win or lose league, and we got to start that tomorrow with competition. Then we'll see where everything shakes out, and we'll play the guys that help us the most. Yes, go ahead. Since we got one more.
You talked about, James, you guys had to put so much burden on him just physically. How much is his mental outlook about this season have to change to saying, I've spent 3 years trying to be the A guy, the leader, and maybe I don't have to try to do so much. How much does he have to change mentally here?
I think there's a way to be more efficient for him, with probably less energy exerted, allowing Ty to do more stuff. He's a great catcher. One of James' best thing he does is catch and shoot. We got to just develop. We just got to get everybody to get James. We got to challenge our group. Can we? Which is hard to do because it's like saying, can we get Steph Curry more catch and shoot? Well, the defense doesn't lead the guy. But can we get through push? Can we get through bigs running, drawing people to the paint? Can we get through distorting the defense? James to have 2 or 3 more catch and shoot threes. That doesn't require a lot of dribble. It doesn't require so much energy. And, can Ty take away a lot of that pressure off of James to always have to be the playmaker? And especially, like I said, when we lost Demo, who we could play through in the post, and Demo was very big for us last year, won a lot of games playing through the post in the 4th quarter when things dried up. I just think the more areas you have to go to, the more it'll help James. And, I think James is going to be good. It's not like James is always going to say, geez, we got Ty now. I think I'll average, 6 points a game. He's going to go out there and do his thing. Can we just help him be more efficient? Can we knock a couple minutes, hopefully, off of his time totally throughout the course here, which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you take 2 minutes less, in 82 games, you're talking some significant minutes, just off of a total workload of the kid works very hard. So our goal is not to really change James' game as much as it is to just let James be more efficient and do some of the things he does so well that we haven't been able to do. I mean, think about it. I'm always excited when James gets a load up three, comes down the slot, they throw it back to him, he's able to load the shot up, no dribble, catch and shoot three. I love that shot for James, We just don't get enough of them because of not James, but of other guys creating that for him through different areas. And like I say, we got to run more this year, more pace, allow James to fill in and play behind. So, I'm excited to get going.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thanks, guys.